Welcome to day 2 of the DMA here in Las Vegas. Can you just introduce yourself?
So my name is Chris Combemale, and I'm the CEO of the DMA in the UK.
Oh, great. So now, what brings you here, and what are you so excited about for this week's event?
Right. Well, we come here every year because the DMAs from around the world use the opportunity of and then to have a meeting the day before. So on the Saturday before the show starts, we had 14 DMAs from around the world meeting, and we collaborate on the key issues. Even though we're an informal network, we're not under the same ownership structure, we have the same issues, the issues of privacy and data protection. There's legislative developments in every country, and we have a common position on what would be right for the industry. We collaborate on research, so we've recently done a global customer attitudes to privacy research, which was fielded in 10 countries, and we're working on a digital skills research to be fielded hopefully in at least 10 countries. So that's really, for me, the hardest working part of it. And then, of course, what we like to do is to see what the trends are, see what people are talking about in America, see what thinking is happening around marketing. So it's a chance to keep in touch with America and what's happening here.
Obviously, you spoke about data privacy and some of the concerns there and the focuses that you have this year. What are you really excited about seeing this year?
Well, I think we're all very excited about what the opportunities of technology and data can bring, and especially marketing automation. But at the same time, as we look at the opportunities, we also have to make sure that we think carefully about the ethics of what we're doing and make sure we balance the opportunity with the risks that might evolve. So every opportunity has upside and downside. So we're excited about having that conversation on how we can safely move forward and how we can figure out a world maybe where a consumer's AI, it's Alexa for instance, is speaking to a company, but the company's AI, so the automated call center or the chatbot or the booking system. So we're going to have a world maybe where the consumer's technology and the company's technology are speaking together. How do we do that in a way that adds value to both?
Now, you mentioned technology, and I've certainly seen in the main exhibit hall, there's a lot of new tech companies that are coming and are joining and becoming a part of the DMA THEN Conference. Can you talk a little bit about the evolution of the DMA over the last few years?
Well, I think the evolution here in America is somewhat parallel to the DMAs around the world. And what's really happened is that data and marketing historically was a small subsector of marketing. It was a niche with catalogers, insurance companies, credit card companies that were innovators in data-driven marketing going back 100 years. But now every company, to successfully run its business, has become a direct marketer through their websites, through social media, through mobile marketing. So there's not one company in the world, B2B or B2C, that doesn't have a direct relationship with their customers. And therefore every company has to be an expert in how you harness that data, how you use that data to create positive and successful customer experiences. And to better understand their business, to make better decisions, to make smarter decisions. And so what's exciting for me, who's been in the industry for a long time, is to see what we do now as a central conversation in every company and a central conversation in society. Because getting the balance right between innovation and privacy is a big conversation. It's a big conversation in terms of how governments interact with their citizens and how companies interact with their customers. So when do we get up to what we call the creepy line and make sure that what we do is positive and doesn't become perceived as stalking or intrusion? So we want marketers to be helpful to their customers and delight their customers, not scare their customers away with things that are inappropriate. So it's very exciting times because there's so much change, and we're right at the center of it as data and marketing professionals.
Great. So talk to me a little bit about your role at the DMA and the DMA's role with agencies and vendors and other partners that it has in some of those issues.
So I can really speak primarily for the UK. The DMA in the UK has 1,100 companies in membership. About 50% of those are the brands that create the products and services and have the direct relationship with customers, and the rest are the agencies and the technology providers and other vendors. And I think what we do is we enable the conversation because the technologies provide solutions for the brands to allow them to analyze the data, collect the data, keep it safely in one place, keep it secure, and then create the messages and the engagement that is going to excite their customers. So you need all of it. You need the data, you need the technology, you need the creative in order to have an effective relationship between a brand and the customers. And we host that conversation and provide, hopefully, some of the context and frameworks for an ethical approach. So the best practice guides, the codes of practice, so that the industry can harness the future in a way that's safe and positive.
Great. So you mentioned creative, and you said that you were at the Echo Gala last night, correct?
Yes, I was.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about some of the creative work that you saw there.
So I was also an Echo judge. So I judged
right.
a couple of categories. And
were you in New York in August?
I was in New York in August.
Oh,
yes, I was.
Very nice. Okay.
No, I think it's really exciting to see that the technology enables really clever conversations. I think my favorite was a campaign that came out of New Zealand for a dog food, and they created an app.
Pedigree one.
The Pedigree one.
It's phenomenal.
And they turned the dog treat into a selfie stick that you put on top of the camera so the dog would stay still while it's having its photograph taken. And it was just humorous play on the notion of a selfie stick, giving it a different context, and very engaging. And I think for pet owners, must have just brought a smile to their faces. So,
yeah, that was a phenomenal blend of understanding what the customer need was, how you could tap into that with your product and fulfill that and leverage technology.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
So definitely something that every agency wishes was their work.
So it's always exciting to actually see the work, because one of the things now that I'm working on the trade association side, I'm not a practitioner directly involved in the work for a brand or a company. So for me, that's an opportunity to really see what the industry is doing and see the best of the best and celebrate the best work that there is out there.
What I find most fascinating over the years, and especially part of the judging, is how international this event is. We've had a couple people in the booth already from French agencies, from Denmark agencies. Talk to me a little bit about is that part of the vision and the thread of DMA?
I think so. I think one of the things that's really interesting is the commonalities of where the industry is around the world, and that the same conversations, the same technologies, the same challenges exist. So we can learn from how people in different countries are tackling the same subjects. I mentioned before our customer attitudes to privacy research. The thing that surprised me in the results we got is that regardless of market maturity, regardless of cultural heritage, we had countries from South America, North America, Asia, and Europe. The attitudes to privacy and what the consumer is expressing was virtually the same in every country. And I think we're at a time now where evolutions are happening in parallel everywhere around the world. And the change is so much that's happening from consumer behavior to how companies interact that we have to learn from each other and take the best of what's happening in each country, because we're all and no country has the lead anymore. I think there might have been a day 15, 20 years ago where marketing leadership came out of the US, but in mobile communications, Japan and India are probably in the lead. In Europe, we're quite advanced in a number of things. And of course, much of the technology does come out of California and Silicon Valley, so it is important to keep in touch with what's happening here in the US.
Great. Hey, anything else you want to add or say? Or
no,
anything?
just it's very nice to be here, and I always go back having learned a lot and met lots of interesting people, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.